Atlantic Canada has a population of 2.6 million people, yet nobody has tried to get a major sports team here. Why is that? For those of you who haven't watched, which I assume is most of you, the criteria I use to get a sports team to a city is population, stadium, political support, fan base, economy, corporate base, geography, and this one I have where I'm not going to put it because this is not a city, it's Atlantic Canada. And I usually have TV market, but this is also Canada, which it's not really quantified as good as the US. First issue for getting a team to Atlantic Canada is actually within the population itself. First off, it's an aging population, which is a sign of declining population, which is bad for a sports league. You want a growing population. Secondly, the population density is very low. It's 1.4 people per square kilometer. However, if you take Labrador out of it, it's 4.6 people per square kilometer. I'm sorry, Labrador, you're just really big and empty and you skew it a little bit. But 4.6 people is still very low. Of that 2.6 million, 545,000 are on an island of Newfoundland. PEI is connected, so it doesn't really matter. For stadiums, we have the Scotiabank Centre in Halifax, which holds 11,000 people. If you want a major sports team, you're going to want to have a stadium that holds 18 to 20,000 people. So you would want a new stadium, which is another issue because there's lots of outdoor venues across Atlantic Canada. I can name a good few in Newfoundland already. There's also Magnetic Hill, which is 80,000 people. And the reason I say that is because one of your arguments to getting a big arena is that you're going to be bringing concerts there, because what are you going to be doing when the team's not playing or when the team's on the off season? You're going to have people in the arena. And when you have all these outdoor venues, that weakens the argument for having a place for concerts. For political support, nobody's actually tried to get a team in the major four leagues. CFL was pushing a little bit. If you want me to make a video on that, let me know. However, the political support is not really there. Fan base, we do have a very passionate fan base. Everybody in Atlantic Canada is pretty passionate about where they're from, and I think we would all convert to Atlantic Canada. However, this is Atlantic Canada. If it was Halifax, I'm not jumping ship from Montreal. Next issue is our corporate base. Aside from Irving, we barely have anything, and we would need more than just Irving anyways. So the corporate base isn't really there for the team. We do have geography going for us. We're not really too close to any major sports teams. However, we also have a really big population, sparsely populated population. So we would be reliant on travel wherever we put the team. And where would we put the team? We put it in Halifax, which has 545,000 people. That could keep the team running a little bit. St. John's doesn't make any sense because everybody would either have to get a boat or a plane to get here. Moncton kind of actually makes a little bit of sense because it's in the center of Halifax and St. John and Fredericton and Charlottetown. So Moncton could make sense, but Halifax would still probably be better with their higher population, and then you could draw from all those cities. Same way, it's just a little bit further. They would be competing with Austin for expansion teams, Quebec City and Hamilton if they wanted to be NHL in Canada again, and Houston as well for an NHL team. I covered NHL a lot recently, so I just had those numbers up there. And those populations are much higher, much denser, and they have more corporate bases. And they have arenas in Hamilton, Quebec City, and Houston. Who do you think the four leagues would choose? Austin, Quebec, Hamilton, Houston, or Atlantic Canada? Although Atlantic Canada has a pretty big population, we probably wouldn't be able to support a major sports team. But if you would like me to cover any other cities or the CFL expanding to Atlantic Canada, let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe if you liked the video and really enjoyed the video. Have a nice day.